Okay, welcome to my new channel. Let's talk about this. I tried this live streaming now. I'm not sure how it will turn out. I am totally new to everything and I hope it works well. And this channel I want to create for two reasons. I have a previous video uploaded this morning, done with my cell phone. Now I try for my computer. So I'm not this very tech-savvy person, but I try to get things done. And so bear with me when you meet me, when you see my videos afterwards. And caption. Yeah, I'm a little bit rattled when pop-ups come from the studio here. I'm not getting used to it. So yeah, the channel was or is created for two reasons. To talk about different topics in a way when someone has an opinion. And in this case, it would be my opinion. In my first video, which I have uploaded this morning, as I mentioned, I welcome also everybody and explain a little bit where I'm coming from and why I'm doing this. Now, to talk a little bit about me as well, why not? I can repeat it's not enough, I guess. Depends who is watching all the time. I'm originally from Germany, as you can hear with my accent. I'm 25 plus year here in Canada due to marriage. Now, for 2 years, I'm a widow. And I was born and raised in Germany and did my education all there, my profession as well as a geriatric nurse, nursing instructor, even business woman in an ambulatory setting for the elderly and chronically ill. And I have seen a lot. And now the topic today would be fear. I have seen a lot what fear can mean, not just fear of death, but fear of pain, fear of loneliness, fear of almost everything, okay? Fear of hunger even. An elderly person I took care of was in fear that she never has enough food. And her daughter then told me that her mother during World War II, as a young woman, because her husband was a soldier and was not available, and she had 3 kids to take care of, that she almost starved herself so that her kids would have enough to eat. So in her older years, when also unfortunately dementia kicked in, these old fears came back again with a vengeance. I never saw something like that before, but at the time I just took it as it is. But now, also elderly years, I'm 64 now, I understand it much better, what fear can really mean. Now, I did a little bit research a while ago. I haven't written it down, what I found, but I discovered that when we are born, we have 2 fear topics with us already, only 2. This is the fear of falling down, and the fear of loud noises. So this is already in our DNA established. Then all the other fears, what's up with them? Now, those fears are indoctrinated. Those fears we learn by watching, by observing, since we are growing up in our family, in our surroundings. Then there is fear we are being subconsciously from a parent or another elderly person being taught, not by any means they are aware of it. That's why I say subconsciously, being taught like fear of money, fear of being poor, fear of never achieving anything, fear of being robbed. Don't get out at night. There are always bad people out there. They can rob you, So all of a sudden you're growing up with this, hearing it, and maybe you are a woman. Guys be a little bit different. The guys, they conquer the world, so to speak. But as a woman, you might be feeling uneasy going, especially in the winter time, after 5 o'clock, everything is dark already. You come from the office, have to walk a short distance to the parking lot, to your car, and you're getting uneasy because it's dark. And of course, there are some lighting there, but not enough. And you don't know why. You just don't like it. You maybe even really be fearful, Of course, you don't remember any of this, that you grew up with words like this, with expression from others, As kids, we hear a lot when grown-ups are sitting around and talking to each other, and we are sitting nearby playing or whatever we do, and we're not really engaged in their conversation, but the mind picks it up. And down the line or down the road, years later, it might sometimes be triggered by an event. So what can we do? I mean, I could explain more and more what kind of fears are out there. I'm pretty sure you all, at least those who are watching it, and when you think a moment about it, what fear means to you personally, you will know what I mean by now. And there's no judgment. We all have fear. I have fear too, especially fear of falling, because since my legs are not that stable at the moment as I would like to have them again after hip replacement 2 years ago, the hip is actually okay, but the knees are not so stable. And sitting around too much didn't help in the beginning. So I learned to conquer it. I go on a rebounder. My exercise tool to go. Right now, I do it almost for over half a year. And I feel slowly more balance and a little bit more stability coming back when I'm walking outside. That being said, so for yourself what fear might be meaning to you. Now, what can be done? There are several avenues to go. It depends how intense a fear, the emotion fear actually, is creeping up in your life. Is it a fear you can live with it because you already thought about it, you know about it, and somehow you're accepting it and you know how to deal with it? Then I must say, kudos to you. You somehow managed it. And for someone who has a deeper emotion of fear, and I don't want to give any example in this regard. I don't want to trigger anyone listening right now. But when you have a deeper sense of fear for some reason, there are different avenues to go. There could be counseling. There could be, especially fear counseling. There are counselors out there who are specified in certain direction even. And of course, therapy, psychologist also, which in the end is still pretty expensive too. No, nobody pays for that. Depends in which country you're watching from. Some don't have social benefits by their governments, just have to pay out of their own pockets. And it can be expensive, depends how urgent it would be for you to attend a service like this. Now, then there is, again, for a person who, the first one I mentioned, who already is dealing with it in their own ways, but still needs some help now and then to understand where this fear might be coming from, a life coach could be of service. And this is also where I am coming in, just to give you some information what I'm doing now. I am a life coach, practitioner, and I'm helping together with the client to understand, to recover, and to explore new avenues. So instead of seeing the problem, seeing the opportunity, seeing the goal that can be reached. And this in a conversation with each other can be very revealing. Now, that being said, this is just a side note. If you want to know more about my service, also you can give me a shout through the comment section, or when you go through my About page to read more about what is this Let's Talk About It all about, this channel, there's also an email where you can reach out if you wish and like. So fear, this is one part. Then, of course, there is the other part, medically speaking, where lots of psychotics are being used. And as a former nurse, geriatric nurse specifically, I know about the power they can have. And I don't want to go into it, what the side effects might be or the symptoms. The thing is, it is not easy. And being on the medication, it's a tough solution, in my opinion. Okay, it's my opinion. I'm not a big fan of any subscription drug or even over the counter. But sometimes it is necessary, because as a former nurse, I'm aware of this as well. Now, not going into the specifics, the medical field, what else can be done? I find in my own experience, and here comes my point of view again, my experience is writing journals that can helpful if you like to doing stuff like this. That's really helpful. But also meditation, being in tune with yourself and taking an out time for 10 or even 15 minutes or just 5 minutes a day, starting slow. Just closing your eyes, take a deep breath in and out, and just listen to calming music and feel, what's going on inside of you. So that's helped me very much. Exercise, of course, in the past when I was still more flexible, I loved walking long distance, and I love to go swimming. Being in the water always made me feel good, weightless, and flexible, and you could do stuff way more than on land. But also in Mother Nature, walking around in the forest or in a near park, beautiful, just being with yourself, watching wildlife. If you don't have wildlife because you live in a city at your doorsteps, then Hopefully you have a zoo or an animal park nearby. Watch them, observe them, sit on a bench and watch what's going on in front of you. To understand fear, again, in my opinion, my experience is being sometimes alone with yourself when you are consciously aware of it, that something is not right with you, okay? Some people are not aware of it. And they are just being then, that goes with everything. When we're not aware of something, we are literally a slave to something and not knowing why we're handling things, why we are acting like, like nobody else, getting crazy, getting angry, bursting out, those sort of things I mentioned. If you don't have that, but you're still aware of it, that you can do this, being in silence, letting silence come to you again is very beneficial to get sometimes quite a big piece of clarity. Because we live in a very noisy world. I mean, you all agree probably with me. And we have right now lots of screen time. It's called, it's a new word, screen time. It's not just the TV. It's the tablet, it's the PC, the laptop, and of course, it's the cell phone. And even when we're also alone, we are not alone. We are not in silence. We are not in stillness with ourselves, because there's always something going on the screen, We're browsing, we're watching videos other people put on social medias and stuff like that. And that cannot help, certainly not in the long run. What else could you do? Sure, you could talk with someone you trust. You don't have to go to the professional right away and open your wallet, unless it's really necessary. But you can talk to a trusted friend if you really feel the need for it. So there are little things, little steps we can do. It's not always successful right away. It took for me many years. And when my husband passed away suddenly, even he was very ill at the stage he was in, but nobody really expected that would happen. And I woke up one morning and he was deceased, lying beside of me. That was quite a shock as well, even as a former trained nurse. And this kind of grief, I needed help. And I went finally at the end of that year, in 24, to a grief counselor by my own choice. And it helped me a lot. I didn't go very long. It was just 4 or 5 months, the most, if I call back. But I went twice a month each time. So I had quite a few hours, and this person took 2 hours instead of 1 hour. So that was okay too for me. And so I learned a lot, and it helped me to relieve the grief and the fear of suddenly being alone in a foreign country. Even I'm a Canadian citizen, and only that, I don't have dual citizenship. So Canada is my home. But I was alone. Even there are still family here, but I was alone. It took me a long time to realize that. And then the health creeped in. My knees started all of a sudden being funny, and I couldn't walk properly anymore. It was like I would have wooden legs, stiff. They wouldn't bend anymore. Couldn't walk stairs probably anymore. Still cannot do it freely as anybody else would do, up and down. But I'm getting better. So this grief counselor helped me to do the first step. And now I'm ready to do what I really wanted to do for so long, many, many years. I realize now how long I waited to let my my gift, my passion shine. I wrote a book, gets published in the next few days. My first book. I'm a life coach. That's what I always wanted, to inspire and help people to find their inner light. And yes, there's way more to come. I know that, but I'm just beginning. Even I'm 64. This is just a number. I decided that the 60s and the decades after that will be the best of my life. So, my friends, this is all a test, how this works for me with the webcam, so the technology, the live stream, and my channel per se, talking about different topics from my perspective, from my viewpoint. And when you watch the first video I posted this morning, as I uploaded it, I spoke about the topic opinions. So I will really encourage you to watch it too. And I'm looking forward engaging with you. And I love to hear your comments. I love to learn from you as well, from your experiences and your opinions and your point of views. And I also have guidelines for this. Please be courteous, show courtesy, be respectful, be mindful, have thought-provoking conversation. I encourage that. You can argue with the argument. You can challenge the argument, but not the person. So if this also agrees with you, then you are always welcome. And like I said, I'm starting new and I will grow into this. And I hope I'm getting better. So just if you're interested and you support someone like me with that, with their first baby steps, so to speak, then be my guest. And I hope I see you again the next time. Share, subscribe, and bon voyage for now. I see you soon. Thanks for watching. There we go.